Okay, thanks. So I was saying I am Alex. That's a name you can use. It's easier and faster. I'm a business developer manager for Tajima Software. And I'm here today with you to speak about how we are going to streamline our DTF workflow from design to delivery using the PulseID DTF software. So the seminars have been very interesting until now. I've learned a lot of things about inks and what you do for the production. But all this is very nice. But I need to bring all those files to the production, right? And I need to fight the challenges I have every day. So we have some challenges which the software is helping you to resolve. For example, what are the challenges? We need to speed up the delivery and reduce the errors. We need to improve the productivity and the customer satisfaction. We also need to reduce the wasted film and speed up the production. So those are three keywords, three challenges we face daily in our work. So what do we do? What is PulseID for DTF? PulseID for DTF will automate the delivery and the managing of DTS orders from any source all the way through the production. The next challenge which we are going to address through the pre-flight functions, we will analyze the images automatically, trying to identify the areas that could potentially create a problem in your production and the delivery. The third, and also important thing, is we're going to be able to gank, nest the orders using advanced setting and automatic nesting profiles. All those things are being done through the software. So what I would like to do, I like to go more in what we say action. I will show you what the software can do, how it works. So let me come here. Okay, so if I understand well, the majority of you guys, you have a store, you have somewhere in the front end, and the customer comes to you with an image, which then you need to deliver, right? So what we have and what we can offer is a link, which you can use the link to any browser, and that link is going to bring you in a small, we call it designer, where you can upload the image together with a customer. So the customer comes, I look for an image, and I upload the image. And that designer can be anywhere because it's a link. So it can be in the store, I can be a salesperson traveling to the customer, I can be a bigger company where I have a front desk and I have salespeople who receive those, who need to speak with the customers on the spot. So let me pick up an image. So, and I can upload the image. What is happening now? The first thing is, images have sizes. And customers, sometimes, they want to change the sizes of the images. So what I do is, the designer will tell me the size of the image. So it tells me, for example, that the width is 667, let me make it 4. And that is resizing the image, and you see automatically also the resolution has changed. So we recognize the image size and the resolution. Now, on the designer, what I can see, it tells me something is wrong with your image. So it tells me, for example, that your image contains semi-transparent pixels. So we know that semi-transparency on an image is not a good thing. So instead of me starting to look where the semi-transparent areas are, I look on the details. Let me change a little bit here the background, make it easy. And I can see immediately here, for example, that this is an area with a problem. You see here, the edge? This is the preview which shows me where the semi-transparencies are. If I toggle, it will give me the original. The original image is this. So I say it's great, but if I click here, I see the problem with the preview. So for the time being, I will say accept, and then I will go and see. It says also there are thin areas here. So immediately it shows me where the thin areas are. You see they are here where my mouse moves. So immediately I can find the problem areas. I can say accept. Let me make it 10 orders, and let's say RB digital. So let me place the order. So the order has been submitted. We will see later where it goes. Let me upload another image. So the next image I would like to upload is this image here. There you go. So this image too, you see the small sign here? The small sign here tells me there is a problem. Again, semi-transparent pixels. Specifically here, it's actually, you see the whole area here. This is semi-transparencies. And around here, because the original one is this. So if I go now and I produce it, and I don't know, I make 10, 20 images or even more, and I haven't seen the semi-transparencies, that's where my problem would be. So I say accept. Let's have a look in the thin areas, where they are. So the thin areas are here. For the time being, let me accept this. Let me make, let's say, 7 orders, and that's a mountain. I don't know which mountain it is, but let me say it's a mountain. I submit the order. Okay, last image I will upload, because I want to show you a couple of things which are important during the process of receiving an order. I hear there was a lot of discussion about colors and RGBs and CMYK and this type of thing. So this is an image. We will analyze the colors. Okay, Coca-Cola will not be happy if I come here and I say, I want to change white to yellow. They will not be happy at all. But maybe I want this to be transparent. So I say, okay. Again, there are issues, and this time it's only thin areas. There are no semi-transparencies here. I can see the thin areas. I can say accept. And let me, okay. Now, so the first part was I need to receive the orders, and I need to see where the problematic areas on the images are. I know the areas. So what happened with those images? Those images have arrived on the back office, which is the administrator. And if I look at them, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, you need to remember, I was not there when somebody was taking the order. So I'm the guy who is going to go to the production. So I also need to know if the images have a problem, where the problem is. So my graphic department or myself, if I am the graphic department and the producer and everything, which most of the cases I am, I download the image, I do the changes I want to do, and I upload the image again. So in this case, for example, I click here for approval. Again, it shows me where the areas are. I get the size and everything I need. If I wanted to download the file for editing, I can immediately say download files, and I can download the original, the submitted, or all. So it will download all the files on my PC. I will do the changes I need, and then from here, I will choose the edited file which I will upload, and I will have it ready for production. So we don't need to go through the process. We all understand it. I will quickly approve. I will do the same thing here. I will click on approve. And I will approve this one too. Now, the images are here. My jobs are here. Two things I want to show you. If you see here, it says the status of an order. You see, because it's also a workflow, you need to remember. So it says those images, the blue one here, they say they are processed. I know you cannot see very well there in the back. If somebody wants to see later, I'm always available to show you and to go in more details deeper on the system. So it says processed, and also I can see from here how many pieces have been ordered and the quantities of the order. Now, we need to be able to gank the orders and the images we receive. Why? Because as far as I know, we have light T-shirts, we have black T-shirts, we have yellow T-shirts, so we have different color profiles, and we need to be able to gank on the same color profile the images which apply to that. So here, if you see, I have a product code, which the product code could be the color profile. Let me type in, because here, so it will show me all color profiles applying to the name I've given here. So what I now do, I pick up the images, and the next thing I want to do is I want to nest them. So nest my jobs. Now, this is now a very interesting part. Why? Because I'm using different printers have different configuration profiles. They have different settings. It's not necessarily I send everything, the nesting to one printer. So here, for example, you can see that we have a prepared a nesting for this printer there, and this is only for printing. You see? Now, the interesting parts are the registration points. We will speak later about them. And also, if you notice here, this is the first order, and you see it finishes in one QR code. So you can be printing your orders with QR codes. Those QR codes can be either order-based or image-based on the order. So for example, I have an order with 15 images. I can say, I want you to place the 15 images on the nesting and the one barcode for this order. Or I want each image to have the corresponding barcode so I can then easier find. Also, before I go further, do you notice this is the RB Digital logo I resized, and this is the RB Digital logo, which is the original logo. Why? Because many times you may have an order, right, which is in the arm I need a smaller picture, and maybe on the back I need a bigger picture. So that's the way you can use it. Now, going back to the nesting, let's see. Do you see it is rotating by 90 degrees? The image is trying to find the way that you have the minimum waste of paper. You see? And If I change now the color profile, that's an interesting one. Because on this profile, you see what I was saying? Each picture, each image has a QR code. The nesting is able to mix the orders better, and to rotate them better, so we are minimizing the paper waste. Here. So it's a very intelligent and a very smart nesting. And if you look here, the squares you have around are for the case you're going to have a cutter. Let me explain why this. When you start your business having a DTF printer which prints in a roll, right? And you're cutting your orders manually. That is when I am small. What we all want, we want to grow. So as we grow and the orders are starting to popping in, I cannot continue anymore to cut with a scissor. So that's where I start saying I need a cutter. So PulseID for DTF will not only nest your orders, but it will also prepare them and also support the cutter. So we will see later how it works. So if I look a little bit of, am I okay now on the screen? Because I cannot see. Okay. So if I go to another nesting, for example, the nesting here with a cutter, you see? This is the Mimaki configuration profile with a cutter nesting, and you see the differences. Now, my nesting is here. I now have two options. The first option I have, if I only have a printer, I can send the nesting file to the printer folder. So we're sending the nesting file to the printer folder. The printer RIP software is picking it from there, whichever RIP software you have, and sending it to the corresponding printer. So here, for example, we say, first of all, save the nesting. So the nesting has been saved. And now we send it to the machines. So the machine, I have the different printers I want to support. This is the Mimaki I want to have. I say send it there, and I send it now to Mimaki. So what's going to happen is, it will go to the Mimaki printer folder, and the RIP software is picking it from there. Any questions so far? Yes. No, it's an automatic nesting. It turns automatically 0 and 90 degrees. Now, interesting to show is that you see the status here? Wait a minute, yes. The status has changed from processed to downloaded. So at any moment, I can know the status of my order. I'm going back to the jobs because what I want to do is this. I want to pick up the same jobs again. Let's pick them all, doesn't really matter. So let's pick this one, let's pick this one, let's pick this one, and this one. Nest them again. This time I will use the cutter one, but instead of sending to the machine, I will download the file. So remember, there are two options. I can either send on both the printer and the cutter, or if I don't want to send, I can download the files. Here, I think you guys were speaking before about PDF, PNGs, different formats which would work better. I can select which format I want, PDF, PNG, JPEG, or TIFF for the print file. And depending on the cutter I have, I download on the corresponding format. So let me save this in the desktop. So now I have two files. This is my print file. You see that? Which I again can send to the printer. And this one is my cut file, which is going to the cutter. So I print, I cut, no scissors, no manual process. Okay? Now, the processes I've shown you until now are processes which are manual processes. Again, as the business is growing and my orders are coming to increasing and flying in, I need to have a way to automatically have the process. So what do I do? Going back here, let's see another interesting option which is available. On the configuration of my back office, we have what we call the automatic nesting profiles. So what will an automatic nesting profile do? First of all, it will gang your orders. How? First, you need to set in the system the different media. Different media would mean the different colors. So black for the black profile, yellow for a yellow profile, lighter profile, how a RIP software would work. And then you can set up here, you set up a name, you decide which configuration profile will be used, okay? And which media type will be used. What does this mean? So maybe I need to come out. Because that's a part which is important to understand. So I have a name, I have a profile, and I have media types, which mean I have a light shirt, a dark shirt, different color profiles. I set them here, and then I say quantity, time interval, maximum height. So I say every 50 orders coming in, or every 1 hour, or whenever you reach a specific height, one of those three, I want you to automatically gang based on the media types. That's the first and the most important rule. And the second rule is, then I want you to nest and send to the printer and the cutter. So in reality, I don't do anything. The orders fly in, they have been approved, and they're being sent to the production without a human interference. That's how I send from order to production the whole workflow with DTF. Okay? Questions so far? That's good. It's either you didn't understand anything from what I said, or I did explain it very well. So I go to option number 2. I prefer it. Okay. So let me go back. You need to fix it. Today, you need to fix it, yes. But you know where the problems are. You don't need to spend time finding them. And it will tell you that the problems are there, okay? And there are two ways of order taking here. You have the orders which the customer is bringing you, but you also would decide that you want, for example, to make available on a website on demand. So you say, I have a black shirt, and with that shirt, I have 5 images I want to sell. So those images you have already selected, you have already edited, and you know they have no problem. The only thing you want now is for me to come in and buy the shirt and the image, because otherwise we have a problem, okay? And then they flow in and go. So let us go back to the presentation. So let me try to explain in simple words what we have seen. We have seen the 2 levels. Yes.
Is this similar to what Deco Network does?
No.
Alexandro, repeat the question so everyone can hear it.
Yes. So the question was if this is similar to what Deco Network does. And my answer was it's not similar to what Deco Network does. Okay? Yes.
When you send that to, say, Caddy or Flexi or whatever the web software is, so it's no problem for Caddy to understand what you told it for this?
No problem at all, because in the end of the day, the RIP software is awaiting a specific file, a PDF, PNG, JPEG. So they will take that file and they will do what they have to do with the file. I don't know what they do. I'm not a RIP software guy, but we work with them close to close when it has to be with sending them to the printer. Yes?
So what does this integrate with so that when you get an order into the system, is it coming in from something like a Shopify system or how is the order being fed into this?
Great question. So the question is, how can the orders come in? There are different ways the orders can come in. One way is the orders are coming in manually with the process I've just shown you. The second thing is you could have a website and you could be receiving the orders in, let's say, an API call format. We can take this API and we convert them to an order. Or a website could send you an XML file or a CSV file. So we will take these files again, we will process them, and we will bring the order in. Speaking about Shopify, you could have, which is coming also through the system, a template designer, for example, a designer, where your customer comes in, he creates a personalization which you have made available to him, he places the order, and that file can come to the system. So there are different ways it comes in. It can take orders from any different media, also from an ERP system.
Is there integration you have to work between your system and Shopify?
If we're speaking about Shopify, we already have solutions for Shopify and we automatically integrate. So it's a good catch. Should I go? 1 second, I will show you. Let me show you something. So where was my, it was there. Okay. So we have a demo store, which I will launch. The demo store is here. So print it. That can be your store. Now, I have personalization examples, but you could easily upload to the store an image which is an on-demand image with no personalization. So what happens here, okay, is that I have the possibility, say Canada, for example, to personalize. This is what we call a template, which has been done with Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW using an editor we make available. So your customer sees that, he places the order, he places the quantity he wants, he adds this quantity to the cart from Shopify, and if I come to jobs now, you see the order? The order has flown in. And you can easily decide what products you're going to have, the designer and everything. Yes?
Now that you've got that order put into your system, does it show you what the product size is, color, and everything? Is that what you
Yes, because when you are on Shopify, you already have said that that product has a size, has a color, and we take all, we take all those informations inside our system.
So it's capturing the entire order, not just the decoration.
It captures the entire order and all the information related to the order. And they are the same, identical, how they are also in Shopify. So you have the same job number which is being applied from Shopify, all the same. Or an e-commerce platform, because we don't only work with Shopify, we work also with other platforms. Yes?
The initial page you showed us where you uploaded the image, is there a way to share the link directly with the customer and have them upload it, take everything and then check out from there?
I cannot hear you very well.
So the initial page you showed us where you uploaded design, is there a way to share that link directly with the customer to have them upload and then check out?
Here is the thing. If you trust the customer, and is a big customer of yours, you can always send him the link. You can tell him, here is the link, upload the image, and if he's clever enough, you can say to him, you are Alex, put me all the orders with the name Alex. And then if you have a second customer, which is called Brian, for example, you say, okay, Brian, this is the link, but that's up to you how you want to build this up. It's your decision. But it's a link, so you can send it to anybody in reality. So any other question? Good. So let me go back to the presentation. So going back to the presentation, maybe other questions will occur. I always like to answer questions. So what you see now here is what I was showing is a build-up of two different levels. We have what we call the business level and the professional level. The business level will allow you to create manually orders in the administrator. You can support any DTF printer you want. You do a manual ganging and smart nesting. You remember I was doing those things manually. You can download the batches, you print the QR codes, everything I was doing. This is the business level. The professional level are two very distinct items, functions. It's number one, the support for the cutting device. So the cutting device support is available on the professional level. As I grow, I can go to the professional. And the automatic order ganging. Okay? Now, how does the whole software work? First of all, it receives unlimited on-demand orders. What is an on-demand orders? I have an image, I don't personalize, this is unlimited. It has no limit. Second, because it is what we call software as a service, we are hosting what you have seen the administrator is we are hosting it. So you have no installation expenses, you have no server expenses, you have nothing. And it is an annual subscription. Now, there are two things. If you say I want to connect a printer and I want to be sending a printer, Then we need to install on a local computer you will make available to us components we need to connect to the printer, file receiver to receive the orders, etc. If you don't want to send the orders directly to the printer folder, we don't need to install anything. You just click when you have nested, and you manually download the file. So the option is yours. Those things are available. Now, the big question, because there is always a confusion, how are we living together with a RIP software? Okay? PulseID for DTF is working alongside with your existing RIP software. It is not a RIP software, and it is not replacing a RIP software. We are working with orders. The majority of the RIP softwares are working with files. So we are taking an order, we have the workflow, we control, we give you the status and all those things you need. Why do you need both? Because we have our pre-flight capabilities. We can gang and nest while your printer is running. You don't need to wait to put the images and nest them. You are wherever you are. By the way, because it is a SaaS service, I was connected now in our server. So I know that majority of the businesses, which are one or two people, you are doing everything. You're doing the production, you're doing the nesting, you're doing the selling, you're doing everything. So sometimes you want to also go at home, right? Eventually. So instead of staying in the office or in the store, you can, at any moment, do that job I was doing now from your home, prepare your production, and when you go back, or send it to the guy who is there. So you don't need to be all the time there because it is not a local application. It is an internet-based application. And that's what I'm saying. Multiply users, various locations, and gang and nest at the same moment. Now, what else can PulseID do? What I showed you here was what we call the DTF side of things. PulseID also is a personalization automation, which I showed you a little bit with a question the gentleman did to me back there. We integrate to the most known e-commerce platforms, and we are not doing only DTF. We are doing embroidery, we are doing DTG, we are doing engraving. So basically, you can have all the media in one workflow system. Is that clear? That part? Yes. Silence. Okay, silence is good sometimes. Questions? We had questions. It was in the slide, so if you want, I can skip it. Yes. Skip it. X, we're done? Yes.
Does this tie in at all to the garment side of things, or is that just to do with the design?
Say again, I didn't hear you.
Does this tie in with the apparel side, like with your warehouse and what to pick in the warehouse for a garment?
It's not tied there, but it can work with your ERP system. It can communicate through what we call the API calls or through webhooks. Okay? But it's not replacing and it's not doing what you just said. It communicates with the system in an intelligent way. Okay. So, thanks for watching and being a good audience. You helped me a lot. Thank you, guys.
Do we have pricing or?
Prices. Aha. That's a good question. That's the best question of everything. Where is Zach? You give the prices. I don't give prices. you lost your voice? What happened?
That's a kind of question. Anyone who's interested, just email your sales associate, and maybe we'll get pricing for you guys.
You have your answer. I go with what he says. I cannot interfere on that. No, sorry. He has to give you that. Okay? Thanks, guys.